I'm gonna take this question one step further, Glenn. And I know we all remember Glenn in the 80s, the Riders. What kind of vehicle did you have again?
My first one was an Alero.
Okay. I thought you strike me as a Cutlass guy.
Yeah, no, I had the Alero. It was Albert Brown, a teammate of mine who was a DB at corner, who came back from the States every year with a brand new car. And we wondered how he was doing that, because we were all making about the same money in the secondary. So how are you buying new cars and bringing them back every year?
Was he flipping them? Was he bringing them back and flipping them?
Well, I'm not sure, because I've got some stories about Albert Brown though that are just. Well, I'll give you one quick one. One of the years he came back, he was all excited because he brought back a Jeep. Looked like a brand new Jeep, and on the outside spare tire cover, you can get those customized. So you got it customized with the Saskatchewan Rough Rider. Like he had himself in number 4 with the ball under his hand, like he was returning. Was the painting on his tire cover. And on the thing, it said Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Saskatchewan across the top, Rough Riders along the bottom. And he was all excited, so he pulled us all out of the locker room. Got to see my truck. You got to see my truck. Come on. And he never called me by my name, even though we were teammates for years. I was 2-7 dog. And if he'd just look at you and go, hey, 4 dog or 3 dog or whatever your number was, that's how he called you. But we walked outside, and this was custom painting. Had spelled Saskatchewan Saskagwon. And we all burst out laughing, and he didn't figure it out. And I said, Albert, you spelled Saskatchewan wrong. He said, no, they did. They made a mistake. You're kidding me. I told him how to spell it, and his back was to the truck. I told him how to spell it. I said, well, spell it to me. How did you tell him? He goes, Saskagwon. Saskatchewan. I went, okay, well, yeah. You've got a unique truck for the rest of this football season.
Albert dog could probably flip it. He could probably flip some iron. Probably not the sharpest knife in the drawer though. When it came to other things, got a little car broker business working part time for the Riders. I like it.
Barney, he could run. I mean, he could run. I mean, there were times in the huddle when I would turn to Albert and we'd have like a cover 3 zone defense or something, and I'm calling the coverages. So I'm in the huddle and I call the coverage, cover 3, whatever the stunt was. And then I looked to Albert and he looked like he had no idea what I was talking about. So I said, you have number 81. That's your guy. You stay with him no matter where he goes. Okay? That's it. We had to call play. Yeah, 4 dog. Hey, 2-7 dog. Okay, 2-7 dog. I was like, okay, that'll be one for the book.
That's good.
Coldplay, by the way.
What's that?
Coldplay.
Oh, I don't know if Coldplay. I don't know if they'd be in the budget. And are they a big enough rock? I want Matchbox 20 and 3 doors now, so I can't talk.
You're pumping Matchbox 20's tires right now.
What about Garth Brooks?
Well, that's the countryside. Yeah.
Is Chris Gaines available?
Yeah. It's no, because they do one night rock, right? And then we're going to talk Thursday too, so you can let this stew a bit. But I was the one I would Sammy Hagar, and I see. So I know where you're going to go: Van Halen, David Lee Roth, or Sammy Hagar. Which one? Where do you land?
Sammy Hagar, for sure.
Do you?
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I heard you guys mention Kid Rock, and my only question there is, can you get in the country? I mean, I'm just saying, like, isn't Kid this the guy that had the AK-47 and was shooting beer cans and stuff?
Yeah, but our track record of letting people in the country. I don't know if we can. Kid can come. Kid can come. Yeah. don't know how secure a border is these days, Glenn.
And I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. If Kid Rock is listening and wants to bring legal action.
Well, if Kid Rock is listening, Abawa Daba to him. Anyway.
Oh yeah, good one. Hey, are the Calgary Stampeders for real? We're gonna find this out on Friday. What's your take?
Well, their defense got a lot younger, less experienced, but are much faster. And I think this defense in Calgary is playing better than Calgary's defense has played for 2 or 3 years. So that's kind of where it starts because it keeps you in games. But boy, did they make the best team in the West look like mere mortals. I mean, that's Damon Webb. He's their veteran in the secondary, but they've got 2 young halfbacks. Their corners only have a couple of years experience, not a lot of games, but they play fast. They're almost playing like no one gave them a chance. Everyone rated them as last. And, they don't know any better, almost. That, by the way, that was Derek Moncrief, who Rider fans know very well. Yeah. So, they've sprinkled in some veteran guys, but that's really young defense, and it made what has been a powerhouse offensive machine with Brady Oliveira back look like mere mortals. Like they made Winnipeg look like, they're in the middle of the pack team.
I battled this with Luke yesterday, and Luke said no. Like Calgary is the better team. Every team has it. Maybe is that Winnipeg's egg of the year? Did they lay an egg in that one, or from what you were seeing, did Calgary straight up outplay them and Winnipeg at almost their best?
Yeah, that was. I'm not going to say that Brady Oliveira was at his best because I think he's still. That shoulder was bothering him still. He's not quite all the way back. But other than that, that was their game. They started trying to run. They went back to it quite often. They always run their team and offense through their run game, and their offensive line is usually the guys blowing holes open and things like that. And they kept trying to go back, and Calgary made their plays. Calgary, I thought that one by Moncrief, they were giving them the short stuff, and defense gave them the short stuff for 3 or 4 plays in a row, knowing that they were going to jump one of them. And that's a veteran quarterback in Zach. What it does is it tells you that they're not invincible. That, believe me, that game film, I still call it film. I know it's video or whatever now, webcams or whatever they are. That is going to be passed around, and guys are going to go, okay, this is the. Now you're not going to get 2 pick sixes in a game every game, but they're going to look at that film and say, this is how you limit the run and put them in second and long. And then when you put them in second and long, they're like any other team, even with their veteran quarterback and their receivers. So
a little bit of a blueprint.
Yes. And believe me, teams are studying it because they have been the big dog on the porch.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the other side of the ball, of course, Vernon Adams in that locker room this year, always, despite everything he's been through, always getting seems like he's been running down everywhere he's gone, despite being always so positive and always so good. Is his leadership now as a breath of fresh air in Calgary now that they're trying to turn it around?
I think so. I absolutely do think so. And we've said, Greg, a couple times on this show too, that's the one thing that you cannot question about Vernon Adams. You ask any of his teammates, current or former, and they will tell you what a great leader he is. And that he is not just a leader of the teammates. He's a leader of the staff. He's a leader of the crew that are the coaches. He's a leader with the equipment staff. He's a leader with the training staff. He's a guy that he walks into the locker room and he says, what do you guys need? How can I help you? How can I help this organization? And everywhere he's been, that has been the case. Now, I think where the doubt has come in, and let's be just flat out honest, where the doubt has come in is at times when he looks like he's a little bit confused by the defense he's seeing and he throws too many interceptions. And I think that's where that doubt, that seed of doubt is planted on some coaches. And then when they think they have a guy that's not going to make those mistakes, that's when Vernon gets shipped out. He didn't throw an interception against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and he's limiting those mistakes now. And maybe that's Dave Dickinson's influence on him. So, yes, your question is a good one, and Vernon Adams is one of the great leaders in sports, and I'm happy for him. He's a guy that is hard to not cheer for. Like whatever team he's on, he's out there slinging it. He loves the deep ball. Who doesn't like that if you're a fan?
He's a hard guy to hate, that's for sure.
Yeah, like a Brian Sklar.
Yeah. Like a Brian Sklar.
Like a modern day Brian Sklar. What about Friday? Hamilton, Toronto. Like I'm down on holidaying with the family. Get a chance to thank the Gord for IPTVs. You can watch anything anywhere now. And I'm like, this is shootout, excitement. It was like a flag football game at Glen. It was like couldn't keep. What a game though.
Yeah. I think this week was. I'm giggly excited about this week. That game, there were 89 points scored in that game, I think. And
89,
Kenny Lawler,
man,
with Bo Levi Mitchell, and Bo is healthy. Bo wasn't healthy last year, I don't think. I don't think he was completely healthy, but he is now, and he is back on form. Like he is all the way back, and him and that combination with him and Lawler, wow! I just that's a 1-2 punch. It's going to be a challenge for anybody. But this week, Barney, was a great sort of display and verification, really, of what we talk about when we talk about the positives of this game. I mean, we saw in that game in Hamilton, a guy won $1 million because there were 2 kickoff returns.
Well, that's what Roy Leister. I wanted to ask you now. Gail St. Clair in 1999, which she's definitely not getting the checks anymore because it's what is it? What did we find out? 40 grand or
20, 50 grand over 20 years,
something like that. When you have been, I don't know how many years have you been doing calling games with TSN now?
30.
Okay, so there's gotta be a point where you're like rooting for someone to win that thing.
Oh, every game that there's one. The first commercial break, it could be Rod Smith and I or Dustin and I turn and I go, one more and we got a millionaire somewhere. I mean, it is so on our minds all the time, and we try to remind it on the air that, hey, one more and it can happen. And there was the 1 year, and we were in Winnipeg.
2015 or 17. It's Colson. Did you ever fact check that? I know what you're going to go with.
Yeah, and there was a penalty on the second one for
a phantom call.
Could you imagine that? I mean, we were in the booth going, "No, you're kidding me, no." So we were trying to find every angle of this to see if this could be challenged, or can we just not have a clip?
Yeah.
And poor Karen didn't get her millions. I still remember her name. That's how ingrained it is in me. It's Karen. I know that for a fact.
Karen, yeah.
Poor Karen. Hopefully she got a gift card. If it was a Safeway back, no, it would have been maybe Save. But I, in that whole game and the craziness and everything that I was watching, and then sitting there watching the highlights and having a gin, looking at the mountains with Mrs. S, and I'm like, wait a minute, somebody won what? And you know what? And I'm not just saying that. Now that we got to know each other for over a year here, I was like, I bet you Glenn was so happy. Like, now that I know you, and then that's where I'm like, I can't wait to ask him, because he probably cheers for someone to win that darn thing, and you do.
Oh, I just and as a matter of fact, I was so excited, and I called our producer, not the one that was working that game, but the producer that I was working with in the Edmonton game, Edmonton-Ottawa. His name is John Hines. So I called him immediately, and I said, John, how are we going to get this guy on the air? Like, we have got to, we could shoot it and save on foods or something. And he goes in and he has the big check, or we have to get him on the air. And we're trying to get that done somehow, I think. And that's sort of, but in the Ottawa game, so Dustin and I are doing that game, and Javon Leake takes a punt return back for a touchdown. So now I'm going like, wow, that was a 94-yarder. And again, great example of the special team importance of our game. And I'm all excited. And then the next series, Pimbleton for Ottawa takes it back 97 yards for a touchdown. I go, that's another $1 million. And then Dustin says, whoa, easy.
I got to interrupt. Guess what I found?
Okay, here we go.
And the effort he is giving is incredible. Now,
This is the kick from 2017.
If you're watching the stream,
he is not hitting anybody.
that was the call.
That's the call, yeah.
Blocking the bat, $1 million. What's that ref's name?
Oh, that's
What ref was that, Glenn? I think Glenn's frozen now.
he is frozen.
I think we lost him. We have to reset. Oh, that was the block, though?
Yeah, it was the block. Yeah.
Oh, if you were watching the stream, you saw it. That's a soft call.
Oh yeah,
For
everyone knew it was a
$1
soft
million.
call. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try and get Glenn back. But jeez, regardless.
But Glenn's right. The CFL and the special teams in the return game is one of the reasons why it is so good. And as the US and NFL and NCAA move to the safe zone kick returns, it's never going to be the same.
Hey, did you read this text on YouTube? We can get to that. We get to that in a bit. Sorry you froze. You froze. But
Yes.
okay, we only got a couple more. We only got a couple more. But I wanted to ask you, and I asked this to Arash as well.
Yeah.
If we could go back to Saturday, let's say I'm asking you on Saturday night this question: Is it a bigger game for Ottawa or Edmonton? Who would you have said
At the time, Edmonton.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't think there's a team in the last 5 to 10 years that needed to win more than Edmonton did this past weekend. Honestly. And I don't cheer for one team or the other. I cheer for a close game.
I think he's freezing up.
I think we lost him again.
I think we'll catch up with Glenn on Thursday. Maybe the bear. Maybe it's something to do with the. Oh, there. Yeah, you're freezing. Glenn, yeah. Well, you're laughing. What is the bear update anyway? Have you seen it in the last week?
Haven't seen him. No, we haven't seen him for a week. So I don't know. Maybe he's down the street or on another street or something. But he'll be back. He'll be back, and I'm going to go out and take the selfie up.
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, Thursday we'll chat about this weekend's game. We'll talk to you then.
Okay, thanks, guys. Sorry about that internet issue.
Oh, it's